When I was in about the third grade in Sunday school, the teacher, and I believe it was Miss Judy Gentry, she and the other ladies in there, they taught us sign language, one little song. So we were going to do it in front of the church. What they taught us was, Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. I guess it was the next summer I had one of my many surgeries, and I think it was a little boy who was my roommate, but they were deaf. And I said, well, how about that? And I had just learned the song in sign language. Now that's a God thing right there. I signed it for them. And then he's going, yeah. And my mother and their mother just started to cry. We cry a lot in our family.
Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Glory, hallelujah.
I'm George Perry Ramsey. I was named after a great-grandfather and a great-great-grandfather. I was born December the 18th, 1961 at Providence Hospital. Very shortly after I was born, the doctors there said, he's not going to live. There's just too many things that are wrong. I was born on Monday, and Tuesday morning, my daddy and our pastor took me to Winston-Salem Baptist Children's Hospital. We got there, and they were kind of saying, well, there's really nothing we can do, but we'll watch him. Daddy found a place to stay there in Winston-Salem, real close to the hospital, because he didn't have a car. Then Wednesday, our First Baptist Church had prayer meeting, and the church family literally got on their knees. So pray for me. Most of them are gone now, and I sure do thank them for praying. By Friday, Daddy was coming into the hospital, and he just knew that it was to say that I had died. One doctor said, Mr. Ramsey, a higher power took over. I'm sorry. I didn't want to cry. So Daddy calls his youngest brother. They came to Winston-Salem and picked us up and ate sure they held me all the way back to Murphy. We arrived in our house Sunday night, which was Christmas Eve. My daddy's daddy, he held me. Daddy said that was only the second time in his life that Daddy had seen his daddy cry. My parents, we had gone to Knoxville, Tennessee. I didn't understand it. I didn't know all about it. I was about 9 years old. This was about 1970. Turns out that it was a Billy Graham crusade. And I was just like on the edge of my seat just during the whole service. And especially when he was preaching.
If you have failed to live as good as Christ, you have come short and are a sinner.
When they got through, I said, I want to go down there. And Mother told Daddy, that George wants to go forward. George wants to go down there. And we were way up in the nosebleed. So it took us a little while to get down there. I got down there and I talked with one of the assistants, and in a little while, Billy Graham prayed for all of us who had made a decision. And it wasn't very much of a hard decision at all, because even by that time, I had always had Jesus in my heart and in my life. Then before very long, back at our home church, First Baptist of Murphy, we were having a revival, and I went forward then. Mother and Daddy didn't know that that's what I had in mind, but they knew that I was going to go forward at some time soon. Revival time was just as good as any. I told them when the time came, I wanted to be with Jesus. The relationship with Jesus Christ and God the Father and the Holy Spirit has always been like the center of family life for us. As a youth choir, we went to Washington, D.C. and stood on the Capitol steps and just sang our little hearts out. I was probably about 18, and God had made it very clear to me to work with children. And the only thing we knew about at that time was being a school teacher. I taught from 3-year-olds through the 4th grade. They say that if you love your job, you'll never work a day in your life. I also took about a year of seminary. I went to a Christian missionary school in Tegucigalpa, Honduras. The main road up there that goes from about where some of us live to the school was a main road for the Contras and the Sandinistas going back and forth.
Imagine you're on the stage of a great concert hall.
What concert?
Every Sunday I did a children's sermon. God would get me ready for it by about Thursday. Somewhere along the way, I was voted in as a deacon. Deacons kind of help take care of the church. They see that the bills are paid, the lights are on, and the heat is on, or the air conditioning. The preacher gets paid, but they referred to me as the children's deacon because anything that needed to be taken care of in the children's department, they looked to me. That I love children, I love people. I felt greatly blessed, highly honored, deeply loved.
¿Cómo está, y'all? That's Southern Equivalent in Spanish, ¿Cómo está, y'all? ¿Dónde está your mama? You have a brother, see. What's his name? Cy. And he's a lawyer, see. What does he do? Sue. And you have a sister, see. What's her name? Sue. She's a seamstress, see. What does she do? Sew.
I have struggles. 5 years. I've been here for 5 years. I would very much like to already have been able to be up and walking down the hall and things like that. But I just don't have the strength and energy. My legs are weak, and there's several issues. The issues are increasing. What is called Ehlers-Danlos, and it is a tissue issue. The muscles and tissues and things like that seem to pull apart from each other. One of the other things that I have is severe and profound scoliosis. I had surgery on 2 vertebrae in my spine. My right ear, I had a mastoidectomy. The left eye, I had a droopy eyelid. I had a pectus excavatum, and that's when they tried to pull the breastbone up out of my chest cavity. They put a bar in. It had to stay for about a year. Then I had surgery to remove the bar. Appendix, gallbladder, hernia, 2 for the heart, 2 on the stomach, 2 undescended testicles, 1 testicle removal because of the cancer, a broken hip, and then hemorrhoids. I just kept going. The most recent surgery and everything I had, I told my brother David, I said, David, I'm tired. I'm ready to go see Jesus. We'll talk again real soon. If God the Father should call me home today, I'm ready to go. Money won't do you much good. And a big fine house, that won't do much good for eternity. But just to be with God the Father and Jesus, to have a relationship with Jesus. The Bible tells me that we're going to meet challenges together. He will not leave me.
A man's got a heart, hasn't he? Reviewing.
The first show I did was called The Man Who Came to Dinner. They just needed some help, and really it was my mother that they needed. I went up there, and Susan Keene said, "You want to be in a play?" Well, I was going to bring Mother every night, and so I said, "Well, sure." Yeah.
Hey, Birdside.
Well, hey, everybody.
You had your supper?
Yes, ma'am. I had me a can of banging sausage and a box of crackers and a knee-high down in the food hall. And I got a surprise.
The fellows that I was with there at The Man Who Came to Dinner, they were talking about the upcoming play. And I said, "What is it?" They said, "The Wizard of Oz." I thought, "Oh my." And I said, "What do you have to do?" And they said, "It's a musical, and so you have to bring a piece of music to sing." So here's where God comes in again. I brought our Baptist hymnal. On Jordan's stormy banks I stand and cast a wishful eye to Canaan's fair and happy land where my possessions lie. I am bound for the promised land. I'm bound for the promised land. Oh, who will come? Go with me. I am bound for the promised land.